everyone, welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you are new here. I'm Janelle and I make both faith-based and lifestyle content here on YouTube. And as you can see from the title, I'm going to do a two-part series about Proverbs 31. I have seen so much in regard to the Proverbs 31 woman, and through the content that I've seen myself, she is very much a busybody. She takes care of her home, she focuses on bringing peace, she's nurturing, she displays all of these wonderful qualities. But I thought, let me read it myself. I've read the book of Proverbs before, but I want to do an in-depth verse by verse study and break down what I wrote in the first half of this chapter. We'll talk about what the Proverbs 31 woman is and what she isn't. So Proverbs 31 in specific to the wife are verses 10 through 31. Today I'm going to go through verses 10 through 20, and in a future video we'll go over 20 through 31. So you can follow along in your Bible. I won't be reading out of the Bible, but I'll be reading from the notes that I took on each verse, so you can fact check me and go through as I go along verse by verse. Let's get right into it, starting at chapter 31 verse 10. Proverbs 31 woman is a wife of noble character and is more valuable than rubies. So I wrote, she is rare, she is hard to find. To me, if something is valuable and it holds value, it is going to be more rare. It is going to be harder to find. Something that you can just get anywhere is not going to be of a lot of value. Typically. This reminds me that she is special. She is different. She is not following the ways of the world. She is noble. Verse 11, her husband can trust her. She is trustworthy. Why? Because she's mature. She cares for her family. She cares for the needs of others, which we'll get into in these upcoming verses. Verse 12, she rewards him with good and not with harm. A lot of women today are focusing more on what can I get from my spouse versus what can I give my spouse? What am I bringing to the table? How can I serve him and produce for him? And vice versa. You know, this works on both sides, but these verses are specific to the woman, and she rewards him for his service, but she also does good for him and not harm. Verse 13, she works happily with her hands. She is not lazy. She's hardworking. She uses her hands to get things done, whether that be cooking a meal, or back in this time there's a focus on making clothes. She could be making blankets. She could be tidying up around the house. She could be doing anything that produces good and doing it with her own hands. Verses 14 and 15, I put these together because they were more specific to food. She brings in food, she rises while it is still dark and provides food for her household. Now these verses I see a lot in these Proverb 31 women videos. You see women getting up early before sunrise and starting to tidy up and starting to prepare a meal, or starting to plan for the meal and just getting things ready. This is also one that I need to focus on because I once was a early bird and now I don't get up till 9:30, 10 o'clock most mornings. So I really gotta focus on this one myself. It is definitely a goal for me to start waking up earlier, because when I did, those are the best hours to just crank out a bunch of stuff and produce a lot of good work. When you are uninterrupted, awake before the world, you can just get so much done so much quicker and efficiently. So gotta take notes from this woman. Verse 16, she bought a field from her own income. Sometimes I think that having a goal of purchasing a home or purchasing land is a little worldly, and I try to humble myself and not focus on material gain. But then I remember that having a home that produces good and cultivating peace in that home is a service to God. So as long as I stay on that narrow path on why I want to have a home and be able to do that for myself and for my future, versus I want a mansion with all these great features, it shouldn't be frowned upon for a woman to want to achieve those goals. All right, verse 17, she clothes herself in might. I actually went externally to get a little bit more detail on this because, you know, I could say she's mighty, but let's go a little further than that. She is proactive. She's mentally strong in life's challenges. Verse 18, she enjoys her work and ensures it is good. worthwhile. She works late until the night. So not only is she getting up early, she is also working till dark. I wrote, she completes tasks while the world may be resting. She is mature and faithful. So this is the verse I really wrote the most on and put the most notes into. There's a lot to unpack in verse 18. She enjoys her work. She is happy while she's working. She's not complaining. She's not annoyed. It said in verse 13, she works happily. In verse 18, she enjoys her work. She has a heart posture of positivity and gratitude. I did write she completes tasks while the world may be resting. To clarify this, we all need rest. God needed rest. Us women need our rest. So I know we need rest. This was more written like she works when it's time to work, whereas others might be resting when it's time to get up and work. She completes her tasks. She doesn't leave things half done. When she has something to do, she does it and she completes it with joy and to the best of her abilities and ensures it is good. Verse 19, she's a busy woman who is focused and does not complain about her work. So kind of what I was going into with verse 18, she doesn't complain, she's focused, she's working. And verse 20, she extends her hands to the needy. She is generous, not selfish. I love that I'm ending on verse 20 because she's not doing all this work just for herself. She extends her hands to the needy. She gives to the poor. She is doing these things to serve others, not for her own personal gain and to serve herself. And so I highlighted all of the positive things that she is in green, and I highlighted in pink the things that she is not. So I'm going to go through those before I wrap this up. So what is the Proverbs 31 woman? She's noble, she's valuable, she's trustworthy, she rewards, she works happily, she provides, she is mighty, she's proactive, she's strong, she works late, she completes her tasks, she's mature, she's faithful, she's busy, she's focused, and she's generous. Now, what is she not? She does not harm others. She is not lazy. She is not resting when it's time to work. She does not complain, and she is not selfish. So we could all take a note or two from the Proverbs 31 woman. I've loved the content that's out there displaying acts of a Proverbs 31 woman. It's something I know we can all work harder to be like. I can be honest with you and tell you, like I said, I've been waking up later. I have been struggling with laziness. When I have priorities that I've mentioned many times, full-time school, full-time work, it can be hard to get tasks done that I need to get done. This chapter is a great reminder that working hard in our homes, for our families, for our future, for others, to make this place just a little bit better is so worthwhile and it is pleasing to the Lord. All right, so I hope you enjoyed this video. Leave me a comment down below if you have any questions on any of the verses or have any questions for me in general. I will be making a part 2, as I mentioned, for verses 21 through 31, so stay tuned for that. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. All right, see ya. Bye.